today's objective, we have a coolant leak that ends up right about there on the ground after I drive it. Nothing major, but it's hidden somewhere along the right side of the radiator right here. So if we're going to pull it apart to investigate, then I figure we might as well throw in a aluminum radiator to go with that, which is hiding over there. I'll show you guys before we put it in. We're also going to throw in a new thermostat while we're there, and the coolant's drained, and a new crank seal, and we're going to do a wear sleeve since I plan on driving this for a very long time. So we'll get to it. Something along the lines of that, yeah. Yeah, that's the general filth I was talking about. All over there on the slung all up on there. Whole mess all up in there. We'll get to take care of at the same time.
Okay.
Everywhere on the internet says that this fan here has to come out for the shroud to come out, but with some force, and that appears to not be the case. I just have 3/8 drive on the tensioner there to pull the belt off. This fan drive out of the way, and tear down is complete. I am videoing right now.
Ow.
As the step stool tries to kill him over here. Why?
Turn the radio up. Yeah, if you video.
Yeah, unfortunately, copyright is the thing.
Now you can clean that fan up.
Clean the fan, clean the shroud, clean everything pretty much if it was ever attached to a Cummins. We just have to get our harmonic balancer off down there. That twist right off, the PCV thing. And then our front cover comes off.
Could be this right here is worn.
Alright, so there's our harmonic balancer, which was supposed to be a chore to get off.
This is worn. Good. And that's why this thing came off so easily.
Well, we need to we're taking this whole thing off here.
No, I understand that, but still, that's how you take something off. It's no longer it's loose. It's wobbly. This is not good to be wobbly. That should be a much tighter fit than that. Just keep that in mind. I assume once the 4 bolts are in, it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. It worked really good before, so I guess when we pull this cover off, I see oil leaking, so that's definitely been our leak. We'll just have to get this front cover off and
You drain the oil
further.
yet?
You don't drain the oil.
Okay.
There's
How much oil is going to come out when we take this cover off?
practically none.
Okay. I don't know.
We just have to take this.
I would definitely have the oil pan underneath it, though, just in case.
If you would like, you can. None came off in the Thoroughbred video I watched. We just have to twist that off, and then it's our bolts around the side, and
Why do we have to take that off?
you do. It comes off.
Watch your head there.
Yeah.
The people that know what they're doing say that comes off, so I figure we pull that off. I guess since we're talking about people that know what they're doing, so full disclosure, this is not a informative how to change your radiator, thermostat, and crank seal video. This is just how we're doing it, and I will link the proper video that I got my info in the description, because they do it way better than I do.
It's got a gasket scraper.
We do.
Excellent.
Harmonic balancer off. Fan thing that I can't remember the name of is off. All our bolts out. And now we get to further inspect.
That's a harmonic
Hopefully
balancer.
no damage. Yeah, the harmonic balancer on the bottom, the fan clutch mount thing
Proud deal.
yeah.
So you don't have to take that big nut off, that nut stays there?
That does stay there.
All right. Okay.
I don't know if anyone's been in here before, but you can definitely see some gasket maker around the edge. So if someone was in there, they were generous about it.
They glued it on there with RTF. That's what happened. That's the way it's not coming off easy, because it's glued on there.
Get a knife and cut around it.
You should just be able to grab on the edges there and
Should.
give it a tug.
The hammer at. Really? It feels like there's something holding it on.
Well, if they put it on there right, then it should definitely be on there.
Television. So you got new gears because you're taking it all the way off. You've got these replaced. Just asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No, we don't need to touch those at all.
That's not happening. We're just
Well, I guess there's no
we're
change.
just
You're
taking
good
this
to go.
thing off.
You're good to go. I understand.
Taking this piece off.
So where's the seal that we're replacing?
Interesting, that has a lip on it.
On here.
the cleaning up process. The whole front of the case is cleaned. Once we get that all sealed up, I'll spray all the rest of this garbage out of here. And over there, and in there. All down along the frame rails, nice and dirty. Surface of our case is nice and done though. Also got our overfill bottle nice and cleaned up. And our washer bottle clean as well. Fan shroud nice and cleaned. The harmonic balancer actually changed colors.
Who are you talking to?
The camera, but my shadow keeps getting in the way. There we go. Alright, now we're ready. We finally get to seal it back up. Fall off the steps over here.
Well, we're just way off. There we go. What a guess. Well, I'm like on a regular engine, there's a mark on the harmonic balancer. When it's put on there, it's got to be put on the right place.
Yeah, timing, there's timing, I'm like 99% sure has all to do with the injection pump right here.
Okay, so you may not...
And that big gear right there, we would have to break into the motor a lot more than what we've done here for a crank seal and radiator to have to deal with that.
I don't know anything about it. I'm curious.
While we wait for our front cover to set up before we torque it down, this was the previous garbage. And this is what we're putting in. I went with the $200 eBay radiator versus the $700 Mishimoto one. And as far as I'm concerned, the only difference is there's no black M on the front of it. Which I probably could have put on there, told you guys that, and you'd have never known the difference, but... the crack was somewhere along this side over here. I don't know where, other than it dripped out that corner after it ran down.
You're going to be in the video.
But if we're going to take it out, might as well put a good one in, not have to worry about it again.
Oh, you fucking cunt. I'm sorry. On your video, I just said the word cunt.
That's okay. That'll be my first time editing it. Editing in. Yeah, I'll edit in one of those, the cuss word bleeps. Or the SpongeBob sailboat noises.
Okay. How are we looking there? Everything except for this, right?
It's
on everything else?
It's good to me.
Make sure it's correct. Here, down across from our balancer, up.
That's how it shows.
No, it's wrong. It's wrong. I thought it was wrong. That's why I don't have this thing. It's wrong. But hold on, let me take this off of this real quick. Down.
Kind of off of this one over here.
Where if you could help me, it'd be handy.
I can think of a lot of those scenarios.
What's that?
I can think of a lot of those scenarios.
I bet you could. If you could help me, if you could really do this, you wouldn't have to have me here at all. You'd have all this figured out. We'll be everywhere where we need to be.
It's good to me. I guess we can update them since we got rained out yesterday. Harmonic balancer is on down there. Not that you can see it with my short little arms. Fan is on. Serpentine belt.
not on there perfect, but it's on there. Little move over when you start to turn the engine over, line itself on that easy enough.
We just got to torque the harmonic balancer.
I tried to torque the harmonic balancer without anything on there, and
it moved.
It wouldn't go to 90 pounds, so I figured I had to do all this.
Should work out now.
Okay, I think I may want to do this from down below.
Then once we do that,
anyway, you can have good filming if I'm below.
Throw our shroud back in.
You guys got something to put on the ground that's a little soft? So my deal like the bottom will be easier. Tighter than they are.
Yeah, if you have an iPhone, you're hooked up to the internet.
You're only hooked up to the internet if you are. I have my internet access turned off on my phone.
I don't know how you do that.
So you telling me I'm smarter with my iPhone than you
Well,
are?
you know how to turn Wi-Fi on and off, but that doesn't turn your internet.
Internet is Wi-Fi.
Well, in iPhones it's super easy. You just go in and you can turn off any little individual anything that's on the phone.
A brain surgery.
Speaking of the internet, so you can see we have this nifty ratchet strap here. Because the harmonic balancer wanted to move while we were tightening it down.
It's wanting to slip off. It's going to smack me in the head here in a second.
Don't do that.
Well, that's never fun.
Get this position back where it needs to be. Now I can actually get the get that strips on the bottom down here.
Round two with the ratchet strap.
Alright, that one's torqued.
92 foot-pounds.
That one's torqued. That one's torqued. That one's torqued. I'm going to go over all of them again one more time. Do it twice since I got it all set up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Done deal. Get these things off. Now.
Radiator's in, shroud is in, coolant overflow bottle there and filled up, top radiator hose back on, washer fluid all done and filled up. Just gotta throw that ground on the battery, turn it on, and top all the rest of our fluids off. Oh, one other thing to note, I did find a difference between this radiator and the Mishimoto one. There are not the studs on the top of this to mount your battery cable anymore. So we ditched two of the little prongs there, like that one, and we just drilled new holes, mounted it right there to the radiator support, and that'll do just fine. Alright, moment of truth here. We'll give her a start and see how it goes. last piece to our puzzle here for fixing our leaks is going to be this catch can that we will run the breather into. I got just a generic baffled black catch can off eBay. This plug and then this 90-degree fitting were from separate sellers, altogether 40 bucks maybe. And then we got a filter for it. There. So we will take this outside and get it wrapped up. Since I didn't pay the $200 for the catch can specific for this truck, and it comes with these fixed mounts on the back, the one specific for this comes with a clamp that slides up and down, so you can put it all the way down here at the bottom. But when we put this under, and it goes right there on that section of black frame, right there, with these mounts, then you see about my finger down. So we've got these made up that we're going to drill a hole in to extend those down to get this completely tucked up down there behind the bumper.
Didn't want to turn much, dude.
It should be in there pretty tight, but it'll go over there.
It's like it's just getting tighter and tighter. From right there, it should go.
Pulled over on the test drive here. Hopefully it's not too windy. Take a look at our finished product. Make sure it's not seeping oil or doing anything weird before 5 a.m. tomorrow when it's time to go to work. Not that I really expected it to. I was only getting the normal 2 to 3 drops out of the end of the breather tube. I was just tired of the mess. So this is what we ended up with. There's our brackets there that we made to raise it up. They're not the prettiest things in the world at the moment. But when the truck starts getting powder coat and other things like that, we can maybe make a nicer looking set. They do have some clear bed liner on them, just to keep them from rusting and all that. But unless you are as laughably short as I am and you really step way back here, which on camera you can't even see it, you can barely get a glimpse of that gold drain valve there at the bottom. And the only reason we can see it from the side here is because we left the fender liner off, which we will throw that on here shortly. Once I get it back home, now that I've confirmed everything's good. But it'll be very nice to park it, and then the concrete to stay looking nice and dry, just like that. But everywhere I go. A couple $1,000 and about 1.5 years of owning the thing, and it finally doesn't leak a bunch. Well, as you can tell, not exactly the same day. About 2 weeks has passed, and I have spoken too soon. That one dot right there, that one, that's the fresh one. Ignore the other ones. The concrete's just jacked up and holds everything. But apparently that mess is actually not from the end of the breather tube, like I thought it was. Let's see if I can get it under here. Maybe, maybe not. Well, either way, at the end of that breather tube, it lines up right at the front of the oil pan there on the driver's side. And then the only other oil buildup was that front left corner. And then it ran down to just over the diff there, right where that spot runs down. There's a little metal clip that holds the battery cable. It goes to the starter. And so then it runs to that, and then it drips down the diff to the ground right there. And I emptied the catch can, which is tucked up in there, and nothing actually came out of that, which lines up more with the blow-by test we did when I first bought the truck. And it didn't have any, and it still doesn't seem to show any at all, which is good. I also have the water and fuel light and no oil gauge inside the truck on the dash cluster. So that's some sort of wiring gremlin for when the head gasket was done at the shop. But that turned into a whole, set you down there. That turned into a whole like 3-month ordeal. Not even gonna go into that. But we've at least fixed the leaks 97%. And despite the few dash lights that are now on that shouldn't be, we have an aftermarket oil pressure gauge in there on the pillar gauges, which you'll see in a couple of videos as well. And it turns on and runs great. And the leak it has is so minimal that you'd never have to worry about it running out. Between oil changes, again, it's just an annoying mess. I guess it's just the oil pan gasket at this point, but I'll have a better, more professional set of eyes lay on it and see if we can't get it 100% leak free. So stay tuned for part 2.